Irvingman, watches shows sitting on his can. Tells a story, tells a joke, monetizes cause he's broke. Look out, here comes the Irvingman.
And not a word was spoken. That's how you show, don't tell. We don't need to hear the guard raise the alarm. We know what's happening and the stage is set for our story.
Now I'll get my revenge on J, Jonah Jameson, and Spiderman.
And with one sentence, we know where the story is going. So far, this is very well done. The Scorpion began as a PI named Mac Gargan. Jonah hired him to find out how Peter Parker got those pictures. That tells us how reliable Jonah's promises are, but I digress. Later, he convinced Gargan to let Dr. Stilwell experiment on him. The professor gave him a formula that turned him into the Scorpion, and Jonah supplied the funding to create his prehensile tail and give him mental control over it. The formula was untested, and Stilwell discovered too late that in addition to giving super strength, the ability to climb walls, and all the rest, it also turned the subject into a raging sociopath with no conscience and an overabundance of anger. He developed an antidote but had to give it to Gargan within a certain time frame. He didn't make it. According to his first appearance in the comics, he had already passed the point of no return and was destined to be this monster for the rest of his life. Spider-Man eventually defeated him by ripping his tail off. He still had his strength and his scorpion abilities, but without his tail, Spidey was able to web him up so he couldn't move, and that was that until the next time he showed up. I really thought Peter should have kept the tail as a souvenir, but I'm not sure where he could put it that Aunt May wouldn't get suspicious.
What makes you think this rogues gallery is worth anything, Parker?
Things have been pretty dull lately, Mr. Jameson. I thought maybe a feature story on past villains.
A newspaper deals in news, Parker, not history. Besides, Spider-Man captured every one of them. I'm not about to give that web-slinging menace free publicity.
Except he does just that every time he prints an article accusing Spider-Man of something. Ask any celebrity wannabe, publicity is publicity. And Peter got his laugh for the day. Jonah gets a call informing him that the Scorpion has escaped.
Call up the Army! Call the Marines! Call Washington!
Call Spider-Man! Wait. Gargan blames Jonah for turning him into the Scorpion and has sworn revenge. Jonah calls Stilwell and tells him, "You created this guy, do something." It's too bad Stilwell doesn't have the presence of mind to say, "And you paid for it, you do something."
Don't worry. The effects of the formula will have worn off by now. He's bound to come here. I'll set a trap.
Is there any of the formula still around? If so, I suggest you dump it down the sink, like now.
There. That should hold him, even if he had his full strength.
That's his foolproof trap. The Scorpion suit is armored so the jaws won't hurt him, and the chain isn't attached to anything so it won't keep him from walking around. Professor, the next time you need to set a trap, hire someone to do it. You're terrible at this.
Sorry to disappoint you, Doc, but I'm not about to fall into your trap.
Told you. He demands more formula, and the professor, to his credit, flatly refuses.
I'll find it myself.
Stop! Stop! You don't know what you're doing!
The professor was about to say, "That's not your formula, that's opium extract," but the Scorpion was already asleep.
Stop! Stop, I tell you!
My mistake. That was the psilocybin experiment. The Scorpion seems to have his strength back, and he's also on a rampage.
Dr. Stilwell? Spider-Man! Over here! You're too late. He's gone.
Did he get the serum?
No. When I refused him, he drank a mixture of chemicals.
A mixture of what chemicals, Doctor? That could be important.
This antidote may counteract the dose he took.
I guess we don't need to know what the chemicals were since he already has an antidote. Antidote to what? What did he get?
At least Scorpy leaves a clear trail. I'd better catch up with him before he catches up with Jameson. The
trail ends here. An old spider sense tells me...
Just the insect I'm looking for, Spider-Man!
Are you as tired of pointing it out as I am? He's no more an insect than you are, dude. You're both arachnids. You also just happen to be crazy.
Either I'm shrinking, or he's growing.
O'Malley, arrest Dr. Stilwell. He's been stealing Hank Pym's secrets.
I must be seeing things.
You ain't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning. So much for Spider-Man.
He really thinks that's all it takes. They never check for a body. When they have a body, they never check for a pulse. It's a scientific principle that super strength does not invalidate super dumb. The Scorpion is topped out at 20 feet, and he's outside Jonah's window.
Mr. Jameson! Mr. Jameson!
Help! Help!
Tonight, the part of Fay Ray will be played by Jonah Jameson.
Oh, Spider-Man! It's you! You've got to save him!
The Scorpion or Jameson?
That's not funny!
That's a matter of opinion.
Mr. Jameson's life is in danger!
Okay, Betty, I'll try. But first, I've got to find him.
He's 20 feet tall. It shouldn't be too difficult. The Army has brought out a bunch of tanks and surrounded him in Central Park, but they can't shoot without hitting Jameson.
All units, open fire. Aim for his legs.
I stand corrected.
Here's my hostage. Leave me alone or you'll never see him again.
Don't shoot! Please don't shoot! Hold your fire!
Let's go over this again, men. When I say aim for his legs, that includes hitting them. Are we clear now? Spider-Man has come up with a way to make the Scorpion let go of Jonah.
Here I am, you dunce. You gotta be fast to catch me.
Hey, sometimes the old ways work best.
Help!
Help coming up.
The following day, P.T. Barnum showed up at Jonah's office and offered him a fortune to join the Human Cannonball Act.
All right, Spider-Man. Come on and show yourself. I'll find you if I have to tear this park apart.
You called? Here's a free sample of Dr. Stilwell's magic elixir.
By the time the antidote was done, he was 6 inches tall. The prison had to borrow one of those little cages from Land of the Giants to keep him in. Not only is he normal size again, his super strength is gone. Just for fun, Spider-Man walked up to him, held the test tube out at him, and started saying, "The power of chemistry compels you! The power of chemistry compels you!"
Weren't you afraid, Mr. Jameson?
No, of course not, Miss Brandt. I was just yelling to let Spider-Man know where we were. In fact, you might say that if it wasn't for me...
If not for you, the Scorpion wouldn't exist at all, and Matt Gargan would be just another keyhole peeper. And by the way, Spider-Man saved your life. Again. But that stuff isn't news, at least not newsworthy of the Bugle. I mean, really. All right, stop slobbering on yourself. Wait. Okay, come on, be ready. And the professor, outside, Joe keyhole peeper. And but okay, peep, yeah, no, that's what I wrote, keyhole peeper.